Hello. Right, well, I finished my bike ride. I just watched the video I made before I went out. It's really interesting. I thought it was very good. But I did call the chocolate factory the Salmonella factory. But obviously I didn't mean Salmonella factory. I meant chocolate factory. You know. But I know what you mean anyway. It's probably Salmonella factory. It's a very good Freudian slip. I mean, it says what it is. And they had to pay a fine, didn't they? They had a huge recall. But this is the royal family, you know, and their biowarfare terrorism. People ask, why are they doing it? Well, I don't know, because for years I didn't really know anything about having a better claim to the throne than Prince Charles. Yeah. There was that man Lady Diana sent to warn me that Charles was bribing all my friends. There was the policeman that stopped me in the street. He said, I think you're a very nice young man. But I was 17 then, and they hypnotised me to forget all about it. So when Diana was murdered in Paris, I was in Le Mont Saint-Michel. I had my tent and my bicycle. I was on holiday. I'd graduated from university in 1997. And on the 31st of August 1997, I was watching television in the, well, the campsite was in the grounds of the hotel. So I was in the hotel having a beer, watching the TV in French. Didn't really get it, Diana, anymore. And it kind of like after, you know, it had been repeated so many times, kind of like, oh, Lady Diana's dead. I went to a nightclub. There was a woman called Carol, and she told me she was a witch and she'd been in a plane crash, and only her and her friend survived. Carol from Avalanche. Yeah, it was sort of, yeah, she came around with a cider. She was selling cider. Had a good time. I didn't get off with that. But there you go. Then I went to Rennes. Then after that, first time I'd been there. And then I went to Nantes, and a very good cycling holiday. But I didn't know anything about this. So, you know, I got a job, came back from France, got a job in the chemical works in Saint-Vardra. And, you know, why should it bother Prince Charles if I develop a successful career as a chemical engineer? You know, who are the people behind the scenes that have got these records? Because I don't know what this heredity thing is, and I asked my auntie, and she said, oh, John Williams was Archbishop of York. And I looked into it from 1650, you know, in the 1651 or something like that. A long time ago, you know, during the reign of Charles I and into the Civil War. So, yeah, but how could that be? I don't know. Yeah, but it does fit, you know, because he was related to the Wynns of Bettws-y-Coed, who were related to Owen and Gwynedd, which does fit with what I've been told about the descendancy from Llywelyn, the last King of Wales, and that I remember inheriting a mountain when I was 4 years old, Moel Shabod, or part of Moel Shabod, and my old man making me say, come here, sign this. Right, it's gone. I'm told to forget all about it. I was like 4. You know, I would tell my friends, oh, I'll be able to go camping when I grow up. So, you know, I mean, Snowdon was worth like 55 million, didn't it? So Anthony Hopkins try and buy it for the people, for like more Shabbods, but who knows how much that's worth? You know, or what part of it, or all of it, I don't know. But I was only 4, and that does fit with it. You know, that there would be land in the family, and a relative of mine would left it to me, and Prince Charles decided he wanted it, so my old man, being compliant, got me to sign it away, and the Queen declared the signature legally binding. Well, obviously it's not, it's theft. I mean, if you imagine what would happen to you if you did that. You know, you went into a nursery school, said, come here, little darling, sit with me, sign these pieces of paper. You know, there you go. You know, whatever you inherit now is mine. You know, this is jail for fraud. You know, but there you go. If you're the Queen, you know, then apparently it's a prestigious and illustrious Majesty exercising her divine right again. But there you go. It's sacked on me. So why would it bother Prince Charles? I developed a career, because there must be people behind the scenes with these records saying, you know, Robert is before Charles, but Charles has got to say, but I'm better than he is. So he can't say that if I become successful, so he has to use his bribery and security people and the post police to make sure, well, there's something wrong, isn't there? A 35-year-old living in his parents' house. You know? And one with a sense of adventure as well, you know, and a capable one. You know? Not that I'm going to be a long time moving out again, but yeah, but looked out before, they must have been in Swansea, but you know, something always seems to go wrong, doesn't it? Got a good bike ride, went down to Lacha, bit of rain, lots of wind, good day out, blast of endorphins. I remember to wipe, because I never touch my mouth, you know, because I know that will contaminate my lips with biowater germs, but I do touch my nose. So I touch this area here, which is fine, it doesn't cause bowels, but if you go out and ride a bicycle or for a fast walk, a couple of hours, in this cold weather, your nose will slightly run a little bit, and as the run goes over your top lip into your mouth, that's it. Just wash the germs that you put there with your finger into your mouth, liquid meltdown. So I cycled out. We were going to go to 5 roads on the cycle track, and I said, damn, I forgot to do it. So I came round, put the vinegar on, yeah, over the lip, went out, cycled to Loughborough, came back, had a dump, and it was alright. You know, it wasn't brilliant, you know, captain's log, star date 2009, but it was okay. So, with discipline, you can overcome biowarfare terrorism, but there's so many ways to do it. You know, I mean, on the day of the London bombings, I threw a rucksack to the grounds of the German embassy in Dublin, because the Gardaí had told me to dump the rucksack in the bush and stay away from the embassies. I mean, I knew what was going on. They bribed the French embassy. You know, Kieran Cosgrove, Agent Y, he bribed Dominic de Cowell, the French diplomat, not to give me political asylum in France. And they were friends for a little while, and you know, they went to a party, and Kieran Cosgrove got off with Dominic de Cowell's wife, and he gave her one. And they fell out because Dominic fell out about it. So soon you get a sense of Sue's right. You know what I mean? I mean, Henry Paul, you know, he was so in with the in crowd, you know, but they still bumped him off in the car crash because he was expendable. You know, these people, they tell you they love you, you know, but, well, you know, you are an asset. If you're an asset, you're an expendable asset, because all assets are, you know, to these people. So, yeah, I threw the rucksack into the German embassy because they were told to stay away from the embassies and dump the rucksack in the bush. I don't think they bribed the German embassy at that stage, because that was a new one, you know, the Spanish embassy, yeah. You know, I came to them and said, I can prove that MI6, you know, the British blew up those trains in Madrid, nothing to do with Al-Qaeda, or if that was made public, you know, somebody want a war between Britain and Spain, except apart from Spain wouldn't want one because, you know, they might think it's dangerous or something. I think they should just apologise, you know, capturing our agents and putting their photographs on the television so that I would recognise them when I saw them at later dates. You know, that's outrageous behaviour. British national security, the Spanish government should apologise, and they had to go through all that, you know, Egyptian, you know. It was supposed to be Osama bin Laden, but not the Madrid bombings, it was Egyptian. So then they had to go and find 20 conspirators and all. But of the 4 arrested, the 4 British, 1 Hindu, you know, they were all released out the back door, yeah, because they're MI6 agents. So the Hindu one I've seen around, and I think one of the other ones as well. So what do you think the reaction you get going into the Spanish embassy in Dublin and telling them this? Yeah, you think that? Take it up in a British court of law. How pathetic. When are they going to apologise? Yeah? They're Spanish.